Welcome to a new video for Ethereum, Solana, and SUI price prediction based on Elliott Wave analysis. I wish you to have a nice day, and let's start, of course, with Ethereum on the 4 hours chart. You can follow, of course, the video made yesterday for the all-time history in the cycles for Ethereum if interested, of course, in it. So let's see what do we have here for Ethereum. We're still in our option here for a bullish scenario in 112. But we would like to see a signal of strength there to push for higher, which is not a given at all, honestly. For Ethereum, especially, of course, after a leading diagonal, wave 1, 2, it was expected to be at least wave C or wave 3, but none of them happened. Even we couldn't take the high here, which is a very huge signal of weakness there. And of course, we saw an impulse unfolding toward the downside. And yesterday also we saw, of course, a very bloody day. Sunday, I would say. And then, of course, we might continue the drop, of course, toward the downside. You're going to see it, of course, in the micro level. Currently, we are still, of course, in a potential triangle as well. So be careful. This triangle might still be unfolding because we didn't took the low yet for this wave B, meaning you still can be in a potential A, B, C, D, and an E here, and then pushing for lower. But in both case scenario, that means, of course, very, very bearish. Now, in case that we are in an impulse, which is the highest possibility here, honestly, guys. 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5. I don't see a zigzag, honestly, for a wave D there. I see an impulse, 1, 2 here, and then 3, 4, and a 5. Might be even internally on the 1 hour chart here, unfinished impulse, because, of course, it can be a finished wave 5, but I doubt it. So that means, of course, here for Ethereum, you have a wave 1 as a leading diagonal, wave 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for a wave 3, and then A, B, C, D, and an E internally, and then you push down. On the 15-minute chart, if we want to see much more clearer, so A, B, and then C, and then somehow wave D there, and an E, and you start the impulse 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to finish a wave 5, and you push for higher. Now, basically, yeah, you can call, of course, a potential finished wave 5 in the magenta here. Then, if this is the case, well, even we cannot call something bullish there or finished as a structure. Yeah, so we cannot really say so because it is very likely to still be here in a triangle, which I doubt it. Finished impulse meaning 1, 2 higher possibility. Okay, so therefore, I would say even that this structure here can be something even kind of like an impulse, can be 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5 for wave 3, 4, and a 5 here, and that means 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And this correction is your wave 2 here, and then another 1, 2, and then pushing for very, very low prices. So we gotta be careful with it with Ethereum. Don't forget that this is the last chance anyway for Ethereum to show something bullish, and in the structure here toward the upside right now, I don't see anything like I would say that it looks bullish because, of course, you took the low there and you start here an impulse, wave A, wave B, and potentially an impulse still unfolding as a wave C. Obviously, it's going to be 1-to-1 fib level and we might push for lower. That if it's not finished already and we push here in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, a short wave C, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 downward. Why? Because obviously that this is an impulse as well. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, wave 1, 2, and then continuation toward the downside. So we gotta be careful with it. Of course, it's still very, very bearish, I would say. Nothing yet, despite, of course, that this move or this retracement. But it looks for me, of course, corrective and nothing yet, of course, bullish there. On the KGT as well, we can see a very clear bearish signal given, of course, from the top there. From the reference point here, meaning, of course, a very sell-off pressure is still there and still, of course, working. And we can see, of course, very clearly the bearish signal on the 1 minute time frame here for the KGT. Let me check also the 3 minute time frame. If we have a bullish signal, well, okay, on the 3 minute, it says something, okay, that it might push for higher, but be careful. Where it took the 886, meaning once the price takes the lows, this becomes invalidation, and the bearish still a win possibility here. You're still in a bearish, don't forget, of course. Now we're estimating the bullish, but of course, if taken, it's going to transform directly to bearish. You can see this already in the 1 minute chart already, given, of course, a bearish signal. That means, of course, higher possibility on the lower time frame that says, okay, we still, of course, in bearish, meaning in the 3 minute will be invalidated. Very clear. So, yeah, Ethereum still looking for lower, I would say, despite the retracement here. Potentially wave 5 finished here, but can be, of course, something as a 1-2, and then here unfolding. Can be, of course, something corrective unfolding, 1-2, and then pushing lower. Or even it can be something as an extended wave 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we gotta be careful from this scenario. A 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5 extension, wave 5 downward, can be, of course, given there 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5. Be careful with this scenario. Again, the last chance for Ethereum, as mentioned yesterday as well, is this area, the red zone. If we break this area, 886, 2,300, expect, of course, to take the low here, 2,130, and we might dive a little bit deeper. So, yeah, that might be, of course, a bearish confirmation for Ethereum there as a bear market, guys. Now, for Solana as well, we saw, of course, some deep prices yesterday. The last chance zone here for bullish is still there. Of course, for Solana, you want to hit the 0.786, probably taking the low, definitely, but yeah, preferably to not take the 886 and to see a signal of strength. If this is not given, meaning this leading diagonal will lose its possibility, and we might push here in several 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5, 4, and a 5 toward the downside. Please go back to the video from yesterday. I, of course, analyzed the all-time history why $75 has to be taken in this case, only in case we take the 886 there. That might be, of course, a confirmation that we are diving towards the $75 for Solana. So the things are still, of course, very impulsive downward. We can see yesterday 1, 2, 3, also the same triangle wave 4, and a drop for a wave 5, that it might still be extending as a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here. On the 15-minute chart as well, we can see that we don't have a really nice impulse yet finished, in case you are in double 1, 2. However, this is horrible as a wave 1. Yeah, so it looks like 3 waves for me. Much more likely this is an A, B, and a C here, potentially, or W, X, and a Y, sorry, in a 3 waves. And still, of course, showing some weaknesses there. I don't see yet, of course, something pushing for higher still as an impulse. I see here also an impulse. It can be a 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5 after, of course, hitting a correction there. So for Solana as well, on the KGT, well, on the 3-minute chart for Solana, we have something as a bullish signal, but not bullish. It is invalidated, meaning this is corrective. It confirms already that this is a correction, and we might drop down again. On the 1-minute chart, I believe it should be bearish, I think. Yes, here we go. So definitely we have a bearish signal on the 1-minute chart, given, of course, the pressure of selling there, and because the invalidation as well of the bullish on the 3-minute and the 1-minute, definitely we are bearish sentiments here for Solana, and of course expected more lower prices to unfold there. Wave 4 finished here as a triangle, A, B, C, D, and an E, and we push directly internally in a one impulse directly. So very, very bearish. To be watched, of course, for Solana, the area, of course, to be broken is the 886. Of course, this is a signal, of course, for a very bear market, meaning the low will be taken here. $75 is calling. Finally, we're gonna see SUI here. For SUI as well, on the 4 hours chart, we are looking at this correction here, W, X, and a Y. And of course, we start to see a very, very intense impulse towards the downside as a potential 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for a wave 3. So we're looking for a wave 4 and a 5 still there. That it can unfold, of course, for SUI. Now, it can be a wave 4 taking a little bit time here. Wave 2 is very sharp and fast, so we might expect here kind of like a triangle and then pushing for lower. And that means this correction here that you are looking for can be an impulse. Well, it's hard to say as well. Internally, you have here kind of like three ways or double 1 2, of course. Then you have 1 2 3 4 and a 5, 4 and a 5. If this is an impulse, well, it can be, but be careful. I doubt it. Again, I think that this is much more higher possibility to be zigzags, of course, something like this, and an X in between here, ABC for W, X, and a wave Y there. So yeah, and then we might drop down, especially that you get an impulse after it. Obviously 1 2 3 4 and a 5, very clear impulse here, and we're still ranging correctively and potentially dropping down again for SUI here. So I believe that this is still, of course, unfolding even something much more bearish here from yesterday, where we saw, of course, this very massive drop. And of course, you still have double 1 2 in the top, 3 4 5 4 and a 5. And I'm expecting, of course, the $1 for SUI potentially can be, of course, an extended wave 5 there, finishing, of course, this move here as a 1 2 3 4 5, and then pushing toward the upside. Yeah. So the things are not yet, of course, clear. SUI on KGT 1-minute chart bearish, also invalidation for the bullish. So very clear signal that we still, of course, under pressure on the 3-minute chart. Let me check also. Invalidation of bullish, bearish is still there playing, and of course we might drop down, guys. Invalidation meaning we gonna push higher, but it's gonna be corrective, and that means we're gonna drop back toward the downside, guys. So yeah, the things are still, of course, in red for the altcoins in the crypto market. So trade safe, guys. That was it for Ethereum, Solana, and SUI. Thank you for watching. Thank you for your likes and comments. See you in the next one. Bye-bye.